Simon Cowell. Even hearing the name conjures an image, the stoic, sharp-eyed television judge whose words could launch careers or shatter dreams with equal intensity. For decades, he has been one of the most influential figures in global entertainment, a man whose instincts shaped the music and television industries, creating stars, building empires, and revolutionizing talent shows. Yet, behind the confident, sometimes harsh persona that millions have watched on screens, Simon Cowell's life has been far more complex, filled with personal battles, near-death experiences, heartbreak, and hard-earned wisdom. At 65, Cowell's story is one of resilience and reinvention, a journey that goes far beyond the sharp suits, sunglasses, and signature scowl, revealing the man behind the media image, a man who has faced loss, danger, physical injury, and depression, yet continues to shape culture and inspire audiences worldwide. Early life and family roots. Simon Philip Cowell was born on October 7, 1959, in Lambeth, London. He grew up in Elstree, Hertfordshire, in a household that combined diverse cultural and artistic backgrounds. His mother, Julie Brett, had been a ballet dancer and a prominent socialite, moving through circles that exposed Simon to performance and artistry from a young age. His father, Eric Cowell, was a multifaceted professional, an estate agent, a property developer, and later a music industry executive. Eric hailed from a largely Jewish family with roots in Poland, though he rarely discussed this heritage, preferring instead to emphasize practical work ethics and ambition. Julie, by contrast, came from a Christian background, adding a different layer to Simon's cultural upbringing. Simon was not an only child. He grew up alongside his younger brother Nicholas, as well as three half-brothers, John, Tony, and Michael, and a half-sister, June. The family structure was complex, but it instilled in Simon an understanding of relationships, dynamics, and human behavior that would later serve him well in the entertainment industry. As a young boy, he attended several schools, including Radlett Preparatory School and later a licensed victualler's school in Ascot, before completing college-level education. Despite a somewhat inconsistent academic path, Simon managed to pass courses in English language and literature, later earning a sociology qualification from Windsor Technical College. Even then, he displayed curiosity about human nature, performance, and business, hinting at the future career that would blend these interests. Like many ambitious youths, Simon tried his hand at a variety of jobs before finding his path. In 1980, he worked briefly as a runner on the set of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. The experience, however, proved frustrating. He struggled to connect with colleagues and felt stifled by hierarchical systems. His father intervened, helping him secure a mailroom position at EMI Music Publishing. Yet even in this structured environment, Simon faced challenges. Promotions were slow, and the corporate bureaucracy frustrated his ambitions. These early experiences of rejection, persistence, and trial and error would become formative, shaping the resilience and tenacity for which he is now known. Early success and harsh lessons. By the early 1980s, Simon was determined to chart his own course. He left EMI to co-found ENS Music with a former mentor. Though the venture was short-lived, it provided crucial entrepreneurial experience, teaching him about risk, timing, and the fragility of early success. In 1985, he launched Fanfare Records, a label that initially seemed poised for triumph. Hits like So Macho by Sinita brought him early recognition and modest financial rewards. Simon, still young and ambitious, indulged in the trappings of early success, purchasing a Porsche and buying a house, embracing the lifestyle that fame promised. Yet, the music industry proved unforgiving. By the decade's end, Fanfare Records faced financial collapse. Industry titan Pete Waterman froze the label's assets, and Simon was forced to relinquish his Porsche as payment for debts. At 28, he was broke and returned to his parents' home, a humbling experience that left an indelible mark. "I wanted everything to happen overnight," Simon later admitted. This period of failure was instructive. It taught him patience, strategic thinking, and the necessity of calculated risk, lessons that would underpin his future successes. Emerging from this setback, Simon joined BMG Records as an ADANDR consultant and established S Records under its umbrella. He strategically selected acts that had commercial potential but were often overlooked, including novelty and niche acts such as Zig and Zag, Power Rangers music projects, and collaborations with the World Wrestling Federation. Perhaps his most shrewd move was convincing Robson Green and Jerome Flynn, actors from the TV series Soldier Soldier, to record Unchained Melody, a song they had performed on the show. The single became an unexpected phenomenon, topping the UK charts for 7 weeks and becoming the best-selling single of the year in 1995. "Robson and Jerome made me my first million," Simon recalled, reflecting on how pivotal this moment was in restoring his financial stability and industry reputation. Global fame and industry influence. The late 1990s and early 2000s marked Simon's transformation from behind-the-scenes executive to global television personality. His record labels had nurtured acts like Five, Westlife, and the Teletubbies soundtrack, but it was television that amplified his influence. In 2001, Simon became a judge on Pop Idol in the UK. His candid critiques, witty remarks, and unapologetic demeanor quickly became the defining traits of his persona. Recognizing the format's potential, Simon and producer Simon Fuller adapted it for the U.S. market, birthing American Idol, a show that would revolutionize reality television and music talent scouting. He followed this with The X Factor in 2004 and Got Talent franchises starting in 2006. These shows became global phenomena, and Simon's voice, scowl, and incisive comments became instantly recognizable worldwide. Simultaneously, Simon expanded his record label, Psycho Music, signing globally successful acts, including One Direction, Leona Lewis, James Arthur, Fifth Harmony, and Little Mix. His influence extended far beyond television. He was actively shaping pop culture, music trends, and the very business of entertainment. Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world twice, while the Daily Telegraph ranked him among the most powerful figures in British culture. Awards and accolades, including a BAFTA Special Recognition Award, 2010, and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, 2018, validated decades of effort, risk-taking, and strategic vision, personal loss, and emotional struggles. Yet behind this public success lay profound personal trials. Simon's parents, Eric and Julie, were central to his life. In 1999, he experienced the devastating loss of his father, Eric, who died of a heart attack just as Simon's career was poised for a massive breakthrough with acts like Westlife topping charts. The loss was sudden and shattering. "I just believed my parents were going to live forever," Simon admitted. His mother's passing in 2015 compounded the grief. "When I lost my mom, it was the most devastating thing that ever happened in my life," he said. The deaths of both parents left Simon emotionally adrift, highlighting a stark contrast between public triumph and private despair. Simon's romantic life mirrored the complexity of his personal journey. In the 2000s, he dated English presenter Terry Seymour, later engaged to makeup artist Megan Husseini, and eventually began a long-term relationship with Lauren Silverman. Their relationship drew media scrutiny, particularly because Lauren was married to Simon's friend at the time. Despite controversy, Simon and Lauren welcomed their son, Eric, on February 14, 2014. Fatherhood became a turning point. "Without question, my son saved me," Simon admitted, describing how Eric gave his life renewed purpose, grounding him after years of grief, depression, and isolation. Health scares and near-death experiences. Even as Simon Cowell balanced the demands of family life and a high-profile career, his personal health and safety were tested in dramatic ways, reminding him and the public that fame and success do not shield anyone from vulnerability. In 2020, Simon suffered a life-altering accident while testing out a new electric bike at his Malibu home. What was intended as a casual ride quickly turned dangerous when he lost control and fell, sustaining a severe spinal injury. The fall fractured his back, requiring an emergency 6-hour surgical procedure to insert a metal rod and stabilize his spine. Doctors warned that the consequences could have been catastrophic, and Simon later admitted that he came terrifyingly close to permanent paralysis. "When I saw the X-ray, I really nearly smashed my spine to pieces," he reflected, recalling the fear and realization of just how fragile life could be. Despite the severity of the injury, he maintained his characteristic humor in public, joking on social media about reading manuals before riding new bikes. But beneath the light-hearted comments was a deeply unsettling confrontation with mortality. Remarkably, Simon's love for cycling and physical activity remained undiminished, even after such a near-fatal event. Just 2 years later, in 2022, he suffered another serious accident while riding in London. A slippery, rain-soaked street caused him to lose control of his bike, sending him flying over the handlebars and crashing onto the pavement. The impact left him with a broken arm, cuts, and bruises across his face and body. Observers feared the worst, noting that he had not been wearing a helmet. Simon later described the moment with candid self-deprecation, calling it a stupid accident, yet he also acknowledged the sheer luck that prevented more devastating injuries. These incidents highlighted Simon's complex relationship with risk and adrenaline. They revealed a man who, despite wealth, fame, and access to safety, continued to embrace challenges that could have serious consequences. Beyond the physical pain, these accidents served as a stark reminder of human vulnerability and resilience. Simon's recovery required not only medical care, but mental fortitude, patience, and a reassessment of limits. Yet even in the face of repeated danger, his determination to remain active and engaged with life persisted, demonstrating a stubborn refusal to let setbacks define him. In many ways, these near-death experiences mirrored the larger arc of Simon Cowell's life. Ambitious, high stakes, and unafraid to take risks, even when the consequences could be severe. Public scrutiny, hoaxes, and cosmetic changes. Simon Cowell's life in the public eye has not only brought fame and fortune, but also relentless scrutiny, misinformation, and intense speculation about his appearance. Over the years, online hoaxes have falsely reported his death, circulated manipulated images, and spread rumors, exposing the darker side of fame in the digital age. Each false report forced Simon to confront how vulnerable even the most powerful public figures can be when their lives are misrepresented online. At the same time, his evolving appearance has drawn constant attention and commentary. Fans and media alike have speculated about cosmetic interventions, ranging from Botox and fillers to surgical procedures. Simon has addressed these openly, sharing his experiences with treatments such as the Silhouette Soft Lift, while emphasizing moderation, skincare, and a balanced lifestyle. he reflected candidly on past excesses with cosmetic work, acknowledging that at one point he had gone too far and had to scale back. "Enough was enough," he said, underscoring his desire to maintain authenticity while caring for his appearance. Through this transparency, Simon demonstrates a careful negotiation between public expectation and personal choice, showing that even in a world obsessed with image, balance, honesty, and self-respect remain essential. Reflection and continued influence. Today, Simon Cowell remains a central figure in global entertainment, balancing family life, professional ventures, and ongoing projects. His influence is evident in music, television, and pop culture. Yet his personal journey, marked by loss, depression, physical injury, and public scrutiny, reveals a man of resilience and depth. Upcoming projects, such as the Netflix series Simon Cowell, The Next Act, demonstrate his ongoing relevance and creativity as he seeks to mentor and launch the next generation of performers. Simon Cowell's story is a reminder that behind public personas lie real struggles, resilience, and the capacity for reinvention. From financial ruin to global fame, from grief to fatherhood, from near-death accidents to emotional recovery, Simon has navigated life's extremes with determination, insight, and an unwavering commitment to his passions. Beyond the sharp critiques, the iconic sunglasses, and the media spotlight, Simon Cowell embodies persistence, ambition, and the transformative power of family, purpose, and relentless drive.